If there's something strange in your neighborhood,
Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
This week, I want to discuss the Ghostbusters franchise. Is the female version of Ghostbusters bad, or is it just misunderstood? Could they have competed with the male version? Welcome to another episode of Comics and Pop Culture Shorts. Before we get started, I want to remind you to check out the Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter Universe franchise. See the links below. The original Ghostbusters was released in 1984 and became a huge success, much bigger than originally anticipated. It was originally planned as a vehicle for John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, as those two had done several movies together after their stint on Saturday Night Live, which included The Blues Brothers, a film that was also far more successful than anyone could have imagined. The untimely death of Belushi led to his being recast with Bill Murray, and Slimer was introduced as an homage, sort of the ghost of John Belushi.
He slimed me.
Everything about the original was hugely successful: the box office, the critical reception, the cast. It was never intended to be a franchise, but people were demanding more. This led to a cartoon series, comic books, and finally, 5 years after the original was released, a sequel.
I was stuck in an elevator for 2 hours and I had to make the whole time. But I don't blame them, because one time I turned into a dog and they helped me.
However, the sequel received a mixed reception and, though financially successful, the box office paled in comparison to the original. For years fans were clamoring for more, which led to more cartoons, yet another comic book series, and demands for another film, hopefully with a better script. And everyone was on board, except Bill Murray. He was the holdout that stalled production of a possible third film, though the originals did band together to create an awesome video game, whose plot may or may not have been the idea for a third movie. I'll turn this part of the show over to Grace.
Thank you, Andrew. When Ghostbusters finally returned to theaters, it was 2016, and this time director Paul Feig hired an all-female cast. Fans of the original film were furious as they wanted the original cast back. Friction rose between director and fans to the point where the director posted on Twitter, "You've been ranting at me and my cast for months with misogyny and insults. So go F yourself." He really could have taken his approach to an already troll-heavy subject with a little more restraint. Much like Godwin's law talks about automatically losing an argument when you invoke the name of Hitler, telling someone to go F themselves on the internet pretty much paints you into a bad corner. At this point, all anyone can, and should, hope for is a good Ghostbusters movie. Paul, did you really expect fans of the original to attend your movie after you created friction with them? Your film completely ignores anything that has gone on before. The cameos from the original cast were pointless and condescending. They also had nothing to do with the story. You could have created a Ghostbusters that respected the original and still introduced your female cast. You should have listened to the fans and not insulted them. I do not believe that the 2016 Ghostbusters was unpopular because it was a female cast. I believe that it failed because they didn't respect the fans' wishes and bring back the original cast in their original roles. They ignored the rest of the franchise. This is how a successful reboot could have happened. Since you had the original cast, put them in as their original characters. Have Stans, Venkman and Zedmore on a ghost-busting mission where they get trapped in some kind of interdimensional plane, and the new Ghostbusters would have to set them free somehow. Then they all come together at the end to take down some interdimensional threat. This way you would have pleased fans of the original, got the original characters in the film, though they wouldn't have had to be the main focus, and then you would have been able to pass the baton to the female cast. This most likely would have been a rousing success and led to more sequels. But your pretentious stubbornness doomed the all-female franchise before it even began. And now, back to you, Andrew.
Thank you, Grace. What do you think out there in YouTube land? Did you like Paul Feig's Ghostbusters? Do you think it could have been better? How do you think a successful reboot could have happened? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel. Check out the Carl Vincent merchandise in the links below, and until next time, this is Andrew in for Kevin Given saying, live long and prosper. May the force be with you and keep reaching for the stars.